Wat optel. Great College het besit gehad. Janie Momberg, Pieter Steenkamp, Heinrich Fuls. Great College is steeds besit van Momberg. Dis Pieter Muller. Ja, die is de volgende toe met die rechtervoet. Hij treft rondvoet uit die hoogte, uit die lengte en die blazen hoog. Pieter Flank is de skoole rugby in Zuid-Afrika. Nou ja, dan zal ons zeker maar zien bij die Krijlenweek, maar het geloof.
Yes, die vrugtepree teen Stokberg of schools rugby. Territorially, it's been mostly Grey College. One little sortie, two sorties by Queens into the half of Grey College.
Hey, Charl, how you doing, man? Long time no see. 32 years.
Yes, Paddy. Yeah, I can't believe it. We're turning 50. Apparently, you turned 50 yesterday. Congrats, and hopefully it was a good evening.
Fortunately, can't have a big party like we would like to.
Yeah, no, let me tell you, you can't believe it's 32 years ago. You know, yesterday evening I sent a link to a couple of the school friends that played with us on the day, and people said, yeah, I haven't seen this game in 30 years, you know, so it was quite good to recall it and just to have a look on it.
Yeah, it was difficult to get it off the old VHS onto digitized, so you know, a lot of the guys had actually forgotten about it.
Yeah, you know, here in my garage, I've got a box with about 300 videos still in, and I don't know what to do with them, but you don't want to throw them away. You know, so there's a lot of games, and I remember a couple of years ago, someone asked me for these videos to put the games on the new technology nowadays. But yeah, it's good. It was good to see it yesterday again.
Yeah, I still see our coach, Mr. Neil Crawford, and he handed me a box the other day when he was moving out of the rectory at Grey. A box of about 6 or 7 of the games that we had. So I still need to put them onto a digital format.
Ah, fantastic. Yeah, my school coach, Mr. Jos Labuskaghni, he passed away a couple of years ago, but the other coach, Mr. Dries van der Walt, he just finished his school career at Grey. I think he was there for 40 years, and he coached the first team, I think, since 83, you know, so he was, and he just wrote a book now, and this week he sent me a text to say, listen, don't I have any photos, you know, and I opened my album here, and I sent him a couple of photos here, and all of a sudden, you know, he came back and said, yeah, what good memories, you know. For him, you know, the whole Volkskas thing was a highlight as well as a coach when he coached Grey, you know.
Yeah, look, I think it was probably pioneering in terms of schools rugby being on TV. You know, we didn't have any schools rugby on TV in those days, so it was quite a privilege to be part of it.
No, for sure. Yeah, I remember when it came out that Volkskas was going to give money in those days. Doc Craven immediately said, "No rugby, no money in school rugby. It doesn't belong there." You know, and I remember, if I correctly remember, a couple of Western Province schools here in Cape Town all of a sudden backed off out of the thing. You know, and there was times that they said, "Yeah, is this thing still going to go forward?" But I mean, eventually we had a great time as a team. You know, we flew to Durban, stayed in nice hotels, and we flew to Cape Town, stayed in nice hotels. So for all of a sudden, for a schoolboy flying around South Africa, being on the back page of the Volksblad in Bloemfontein, it was really, as you say, it was a privilege, because in those days it wasn't a thing that you experience as a schoolboy. You know?
Unfortunately for us, there were no flights from Queenstown, so we had to take the bus up to Grey Bloem again, as we did every second year, either the bus or the train. And,
try to remember those days with a train to Queens. I still tell people that the rec in Queenstown is the hardest field I've ever played on. It must be the hardest place. I know I've played a couple of crappy places in South Africa, like Brakpan and Kimberley in winter, but the rec in Queenstown, you know, you get there with a train and it's cold in the morning, and then that feels as hard as you can get. So yeah, I've got good memories of Queenstown.
Looking back at that game and some of the guys that played there, I mean, you know, Grey Bloem, we were always obviously nervous about playing Grey Bloem, but, you know, particularly looking at your guys' side that year, I mean, you had quite a few of you that went on to represent South Africa, which was, you know, quite a thing for that one team.
Yeah, you know, while you were playing there, you didn't realize that what will happen in future. We all knew that Ruben Kruger was something else, and we all knew that Pieter Muller was something else. But I think the rest of us just filled up the numbers. I was a tight head at school. Eventually at varsity, I always say I was the worst tight head ever because I only played there because no one else wanted to play there. But at varsity I just wasn't strong enough, and I didn't have a really tight head mentality. And they moved me to hooker, and things started falling into place that side. Naka Drotske was a six flanker, which eventually also moved to hooker later on. And then someone like Heinrich Fuls was, he went where every one of us stayed in Bloem or whatever. He went to Johannesburg. In those days, it wasn't a thing that everyone did, and came into that good Transvaal side, and things fell good. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Ian Mack started being the coach of the Springboks, and he tried something new. He needed a big 12 in those days, and Heinrich Fuls was the man for him. And then a chap like Andre Blom, he's a physiotherapist in America. He went to America and he played for the Eagles in the '99 World Cup. So and I mean, Pieter Steenkamp, that played fly off on that day, played provincial rugby in South Africa, played Super 12 for the Cheetahs in those days, and Rian Maini, our hooker, also played good rugby, and he went to play in Italy. Still he's in Italy, and he's still involved in rugby. So it's funny, when you were at school, we all just played like everyone else, just tried to make the first team, but no one of us knew that out of one team, 5-6 internationals will come out. I mean, that doesn't happen. It happens once in a lifetime, and I mean, that was it. We had great sportsmen there, great athletes, so it was just one of those teams.
And that was the year that we had to go and play you guys twice as well, Jeez.
Yeah. I remember,
the
normal derby game. Yeah, it was always hard against Queens. I remember the Queens boys always used to psych them up, and typical the English blokes in the change room, and you would sit there, and next door you would hear they going crazy. This first 20 minutes. I remember, I think you had a lock called, wasn't his surname Ferreira or something? Was a big bloke.
Ollie, shame he also passed,
Yeah, but I mean, I remember him always, he was a big force, So I remember that first 20 minutes against Queens always was as hard as you could get, at schoolboy level.
Yeah, it was. And then, I mean, that particular game, I remember my old man was obviously kept tabs of the game and that. And apparently the referee that we had there that day was a provincial referee. And the story goes that he thought it was a 40-minute half. So he blew that first half was 43 minutes, So, the guys in the team say, yes, it was, that was the reason because, Greg Bloom scored a couple of tries in those 7 minutes. And Americoyo, who's come off, and he went and played SA Schools with Ruben and all the guys. He came back on the WhatsApp group and said, no, it wasn't the referee, it was the forwards. The forwards let us down. So Alex had quite a formidable back that year, and it was very daunting.
I always, everyone always asks me about our matric side, and I always say, Ruben Kruger caught the ball. He went through half a team, and we made a little pile on top of him, and the ball went back, and Pieter Muller used to score the try. That was more or less our game plan. The rest of us just filled up the numbers. So I think we just had a good bunch together. But I mean, I looked at the game yesterday, and I saw a couple of those tries, and it was just a couple of good individual things that happened. I mean, the try that Andre Blom scored, I always knew he had a great sidestep on him, and the tries I remember of my but of all the tries I remember from my matric year, that was most probably the try I remember the best. So he had great feet. He was a SA 400 meter champion. So it was just it was a great try.
No, it was indeed. And then, I mean, I was talking to one of the guys, and, in our derby day, I mean, it was a lot closer. I think with 10 minutes to go, we were still at 15 all. Until Ruben decided, no, enough's enough now. He went and scored 2 tries quickly, just to settle the playing field.
I mean, I'm in a group here with my the Standard 9 first team as well, where Ruben was part of it as well. But he was just, for a schoolboy, I don't think I've ever seen something like that. He had pace, he had strength, he had everything, going for him. So, our whole team really revolved around him. and I played a lot of rugby with him after school as well and against him. He was just a monster, and it was natural. I mean, I remember, I think when he still played for the Springboks, he never got to a gym or nothing. He was just absolutely a natural sportsman.
Just naturally,
and I remember, taking Ruben out of the team, then all of a sudden we were like, 20% less as good as what we used to be. So he was really a force in that team. So. But I mean,
I mean, we had a very nice side. I mean, considering that year we only lost to 3 schools. It was you guys, Maritzburg and Paul Jim. Out of 23 games there. So, you guys, it was, as I said, a privilege. I mean, we lost to you guys twice, but it was a great game, and we were a bunch of boys that, coming from Queenstown on the Platteland, we pretty average. We had a nice age group, sort of under 14 and 15 seasons. We never had under 16s, so we went straight into open. And then, came to matric, we all got back together again. And then we had old George McLeod at Flowerf, he's living in Bloem now, but I mean, he was a grade 10, so he just come from under 15 and playing his first year for us. And he's also a remarkable talent, that little boy was. So with him and Merrick at scrum off, and we had a couple of hard hitting tacklers in the backline, and I think the main thing there was that Miss Crawford, his objective and was just to get us as fit as anything and make sure that we weren't going to tire in the game. And that's what I say to my kids nowadays as well, is as long as you're fit, the rest is can happen around you.
No, for sure. Now, let me tell you, I remember the scrums as well. I wasn't a great tight head, but I remember it was hard. It wasn't that I went forward the whole afternoon. I was on the back heel the whole afternoon, so it was never easy against Queens. And talking about your side, Rodney Shorten, that played with you in the 14 and 15 age group, then eventually came to Grey. He was my roommate in matric in Hostel, so he was part of your early side as well, so
look, I think under 14 we came close, about 5 points difference, and under 15 we got further. And then our first year in 87, when you guys came out to Queenstown, it was a bit of a big score, but coming off the 84 and 85. I mean, 84 was that magnificent side we had, and the guys went up to Great Bloem and they managed to pull off a win there. And then 85 was
that side, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, That was a brilliant side there. I mean, Daryl Cullinan, those guys played there.
I remember we got in the train and no one said a word till and Bloem, first team got a hammering. So it was always the thing, the whole tension on the atmosphere on the train was always whether the first team played well or not, So if the first team played well, there was always a good atmosphere. And then they lost. No one said a word. It was like a death on the train.
And I think that's the big thing about schoolboy rugby, is that you can go up to Grey Bloem and you can sort of lose most of your games. First team win, then you've won the day. You can come back with 15 losses and 1 win, and the first team won, and that was it.
No, for sure. My oldest man attended Paul Boys in the last 5 years, so I was quite involved in a lot of schoolboy rugby as well in the past couple of years. And schoolboy rugby, I think that's why a lot of South African people, enjoy schoolboy rugby. On a Saturday, it's still great to see all those boys playing and a lot of teams against one another, and the deep, big schools, traveling with 600-700 boys playing one another. So I think it's good for us.
Yeah, it is. It's great. And as you say, back in our day as well, there weren't these luxury buses. We used to travel in those railway buses, with those hard seats. And
no, for sure, I remember that very well. Nothing, fell. It was. I remember as well. Half the trains we got on wasn't first class trains. It was old trains. The wind just came in from all over this place, and it was good memories. It was. The children today don't realize what happened 30 years ago. And I mean, we didn't realize what happened 30 years before us. But yeah, this Volkskas whole thing was, for us, was brilliant. I remember very well flying down to Durban. We had Port Natal the first game, which was good, and stayed in Mslanga, had, spent the whole weekend there. Only flew back, I think, the Sunday evening, And then the game here in Cape Town, which we played against Paul Jim, I forgot the trophy on the airport, It was in a funny little case. And I put it next to the bus, and we all put the kit bags in, and we traveled. And when we got to the hotel, they asked me, "Where's it?" You won't believe it. Someone got the trophy standing there all by itself and handed it in, Good old days. Luckily, I was got out of that, so I actually forgot the trophy on the airport next to the bus, So.
All right, well, Charl, it's been great catching up with you, man. And I think we're going to shoot across to the game now and watch the game. Just a reminder to all those guys watching, old boys from both schools, guys from all over the place, please add your comments to the bottom, or as my kids would say, add your bands to the bottom, and use the hashtag SSL Vintage.
Yes, we're going to enjoy the game. And one of my big friends, Robbie Kempson, was an old Queens boy as well, as hard as nails. I used to spend many, many hours in the front row with him. Yeah, this is going to be nice. It's great memories. Nice catching up with you. And if you move down to Cape Town next year, we must surely catch up with a beer. And it's going to be great. And let me tell you, when I saw this game yesterday, there was great fond memories coming back. And at the end of the day, the score doesn't matter. It's just the great memories and friends you build up with rugby.
Exactly. It's all about that. And back then, just the camaraderie after the game, it was always a privilege, as I said, to be able to play schoolboy rugby at that level against all the opposition that we used to.
No, for sure, and I always tell people when I go and speak at schools, remember your first team year, because that's actually the rugby you remember the best. 90% people don't go on and play rugby after school, and especially nowadays, So I always tell the people, if I go to speak, remember this game. This is what you're going to talk about at your 30-year school reunion, and this is what we all do about. We don't look, we are turned grey a little bit, and we're getting old, but this is the memories, and that's all that's there is the memories of the game.
Exactly. Yeah. So, guys, enjoy the game.
Yes, enjoy it.
And we'll catch up again sometime.
Cheers. Stay well. Thanks for having me.
Groot belangstelling, groot opgewondenheid vir hierdie wedstryd tussen Grey College van Bloemfontein en Queen's College van Queenstown. Grey College wat afgereken het met Port Natal, 'n goeie oorwinning daar, en Queen's College wat afgereken het met Huguenot Hoërskool, Solik die trofee. Die twee kapteins Steven Brousseau en links op skerm, kaptein van Queen's College, in die middel meneer Lucky Gous van Noord-Transvaal skeieregter, en Charl Marais, kaptein van Grey College wat aan die lood gewen het.
Looks as if Queens might have won it, Chris, which might augur well for them on this day. And I might just add that among these 4,000 spectators, Peter Haxton, one of the Queen's College coaches, mentioned that there were at least 400 supporters all the way from Queenstown and from that part of the world.
Span van Grey College, heel agter Pieter Muller, jongere broer van die Vrystaat kaptein Helgard Muller. Stewige span, al 15 van die name op die skerm gaan ook vir die Vrystaat verteenwoordig by vanjaar se Coca-Cola Kruiwenweek. Span word aangevoer deur Charl Marais, die onderkaptein Jannie Momberg, die skrapskaap. Applaus vir Queen's College wat op die veld draf, onder aanvoering van Steven Brousseau, die 8ste man. Wag vir die verskyning van Grey College, Charl Marais, wat ook vir Vrystaat gaan aanvoer. En agterom met sy rooi kop Jannie Momberg en die res van die span, Johan Rademan en Rian May, en hulle res van hulle spanmaats. Die gelukbringer die span van Queen's College, jy sien nommer 13 ontbreek. Daar is nie 'n nommer 13 in Queen's College nie. In 1952 het Queen's College se eerste rugby span gaan toer, en die speler wat in nommer 13 gespeel het, is noodlottig beseer, en sedertdien is die twee centers nommer 11 en 12, die vleuels 14 en 15, en die heel agter nommer 16, Monay de Wet.
So the scene set for this big final based on the Rand-Furley Shield rules, and of course already a challenge coming from Paul Gymnasium to the winners of today's game.
Inskop behoort aan Pieter Muller. Eerste vaste skrum van die wedstryd behoort aan Grey College. Eerste besering dan. En het lijkt voor mij dat is aan nummer 4 Esmond van Niekerk. Scheidsrechters soos ons gesê het, meneer Lucky Gous van Noord-Transvaal en die twee grensrechters meneer Freek van Rooyen en Gerrit Koetser.
Yes, and this could be a severe blow for the home side if they were to lose Esmond van Niekerk. Of course, there are reserves in the offing, but this is first team material, and Grey College, like Queens, no doubt would dearly like to see this match through without an injury, and I'm sure that the spectators supporting both sides would like to see the same happen.
Gaan dan weer hierdie vaste skrum sien. Halfpad tussen Queens College kwartlyn en die middellyn. Nog by behoort aan Jannie Momberg. Geweldige poging wat kom van Queens College af. Momberg onder druk met die linkervoet. Gaan ons die eerste lyn staan sien. Queens College baie gemotiveerd. Hulle het half 10 die verwagting afgereken met hiergenote 15-6 op Queenstown op 31 Mei. En hulle word nie eintlik 'n kans gegee vandag nie, maar rugby is 'n baie snaakse spel. Ferreira wat oorklap. Jannie Momberg wat vinnig wegbars, maar daar was reeds 'n hanteerfout. Nou gooi gaan behoort aan Queens College.
Well, these first two scrummages have indicated that Queens College really mean business.
'n Vryskop wat toegeken word aan Grey College as Queens College se manne voor die tyd geskrum het. En hier kan 'n skepskop kom van Pieter Muller. Pieter Muller van die 10 meter lyn af. Gaan te kort wees. Maar nee, de wet wat geen kansen gaan waag nie. En Queens College gaan inskop van die kwartlyn. Dat is een netjiese inskop van McLeod. Ons het baie gewoond geraak aan hom daar op Queenstown. Ruben Kruger wat wegneem. Momberg. Beetje onder druk André Blom. Bal wat vinnig na hom toe gekom het. Maar van die verkeerde kant af ingekom. Een strafskop. Een strafskop nou aan Grey College. En hier is geleentheid vir Pieter Muller om pale toe te skop.
Not the easiest of kicks. Pretty acute angle. Just outside the 22. And probably about half a dozen paces in from that open stand touchline on Grey College's left. There you've got a lovely view of the kick. First points of the match on the board, perhaps, to Grey College.
Steeds waar hulle begin het. En het sal weer McLeod wees wat kan inskop van die kwartlyn af. 4 spelers in die span van Queens College wat vir Grens gaan verteenwoordig. McLeod se inskop, hierdie slag 'n bietjie diep. En hy dan direk aan die kantlyn ingegaan En Grey College verkies 'n vaste skram op die kwartlyn. Steeds uitstekende skramwerk van Queen's College. Skoppie wat dalk net te ver gaan trek. Baie goed bedoel deur Pieter Steenkamp. Charl Marais wat nie heeltemal kan beheer nie. Baie goeie druk wat toegepas word deur Queen's College daar. En 'n lyn staan met Queen's College wat veld gewen het.
Well, these first opening 6 minutes, both sides obviously very edgy, and up until now it's been rather untidy.
Slordige lynstaanspel. Merrick McLeod, hy is binnekant sy kwartgebied. Kan 'n fout wees, baie netjies binne gehou deur Pieter Steenkamp. Queen's College wat vinnig druk toepas en dit is Pringle wat baie vinnig daar is. Muller wat goed regmaak. Wen Verveld kry die ondersteuning daar van Ferreira. En dan is dit Merrick met die agterlyn af. Oneide wet in die agterlyn en dan is dit aan die oorkant Marie Stone. Ongelukkig vir hom, net te ver. Maar 'n bal wat baie vinnig teruggekom het aan die kant van Queen's College.
Queens in a lovely attacking situation when they kick that ball through, but well picked up by Pieter Muller. Poor tackling by Queens, and they let a good situation slip.
Gooi van my Stefan Ferreira wat probeer oorklap het, maar dit was 'n hanteerfout en Grey College wat spel kan begin met 'n vaste skram. Momberg kan 'n netjiese skop wees van hom. Vat binnekant die speelgebied grond aan die verplaasspel tot byna aan die kwartlyn van Queen's College.
Jannie Momberg, also a Free State Nuffield Schools cricketer. Very talented young sportsman.
Een goeie behoort aan Owen Wiekers. Van ook van grens verteenwoordig McLeod. Voor die aanstorme Rian May bring hy verligting vir sy span. Gebiedsvoordeel wat behoort aan Grey College. Ferreira voor die lyn staan. Slordige lynstaanspel van die hande van Grey College afgekom en Merrick wat die bal kan ingooi. Onderkaptein van Queen's College. Borkies word verhang hierdie slag in die skram, bietjie 'n misverstand. Vinnig reggemaak deur Pringle, maar Grey College wat groot druk toepas, dis die kwartlyn van Queen's College. Hulle het vorentoe beweeg Grey College en is hulle ingooi in 'n vaste skram.
Yes, territorially it's been mostly Grey College. One little sortie, 2 sorties by Queens into the half of Grey College.
Stewige skram. Enslin wat hou. Center wat baie gepla word daar. Oor Heinrich Fuls. Grey College se voorspelers wat inkom. Maar vir die vorentoe beweeg van Grey College sal dit so 5 meter veld gewen. Hulle ingooi in 'n vaste skram. Laaste staan hier op Johan Rademan. Een van die Grey College manne voel nie baie lekker nie. Esmond van Niekerk. Ligte kop. Kry so 'n klapie hier teen die gesig van Ferreira. Hy wil sommer sak, maar meneer Lucky Gous is nie tevrede nie. En daar gaan eers aangegee word aan Esmond van Niekerk.
I think a very wise decision, Chris, because obviously all not well with Esmond van der Kerk, and it's not really worth having a man on the field of play when he has perhaps sustained an injury. So the first aid men are to have a look at him. But so far, it's been mostly Grey College territorially. And I think that if Queens want to get away from their half, perhaps they'll have to use the boot a bit.
Jensen wat zelf wel optellen, maar dan wordt druk toegepast door Queen's College. Bal wat bijna verkeerd springt van Grey College, maar netjes recht gemaakt door Blom, die linkervleugel. Queen's College wat verbazend baie ballen nou hier krijgt. Dat is in die handen van Pringle. Speel binnenkant ook krijgt die ondersteuning van Mark Bricknell, maar ongelukkig vir hom het hy uitgetrapt. Pringle hier nie daskant, maar 'n baie netjiese beweging deur Queen's College.
Good run by Stuart Pringle and then inside to Bricknell. And unfortunately, he put a foot into touch at the last moment.
Ariane May baie netjies gevat daar in die lyn staan deur Ferreira. Dis aan die hande van Venter. Andrei Blom, ek dink daar is 'n man aan sy buitekant baie hard grond toe gebring. Netjies 'n verdediging deur Queen's College. Queen's College wat die bal kan ingooi in 'n vaste skrum.
Grey College, or rather Queen's College, succeeding to pin Grey down behind the advantage line. And that could be an offside situation for Momberg.
Makkelijker skop as wat Grey vroeër in die wedstrijd gehad het. En het zal dan George McLeod wees, die loskakel. Sy eerste poging pale toe. So 31 meter van die pale. Nie juist wind, vreselike wind om mee rekening te hou nie.
Well, I don't think George McLeod has had a more important kick in his rugby career, because if he were to slot this one, obviously it will get the adrenaline pumping for Queen's College. And there you see it again. Coming in the 12th minute of this first half.
McLeod se eerste poging pale toe met die regtervoet. Hy tref vir hom goed uit die hoogte, uit die lengte en die vlaas omhoog. Muller se inskop en miskien 'n bietjie ver vir sy voorspelers. Ruben Kruger is eerste daar, die ondersteuning van Grey College vinnig by. Die kwartlyn nou van Queen's College, kan Grey College hierdie bal vinnig terugbring. Hulle het vorentoe beweeg. Waardeer na applaus vir netjies se dryfspal wat begin is deur Ruben Kruger. As daar 'n beter flank is in skole rugby in Suid-Afrika, nou ja, dan sal ons hom seker maar sien by die Kruiwenweek, maar ek glo nie.
Yes, the Frick de Pre teen Stoffberg of schools rugby.
Misverstand, swak aangee van Jannie Momberg, netjies reggemaak. Hy was binnekant sy kwartgebied. Bal wat ook binnekant die speelgebied grondvat en netjies reggemaak deur Queen's College.
Grey College in a very good position, but then that bad pass and allowing Queens off the hook. I have got this feeling, Chris, that penalty might just set Grey College alight.
Titanische strijd aan die vaste scrums. Queen's College wat 'n goeie bal kry, McLeod. Proef 'n bietjie vir Pieter Muller, 'n bal wat vir Muller gaan verkeerd spring. Hy is nou binnekant sy kwartgebied. Maar Queen's College het veld gewen.
Yes, looking at Pieter Muller, one wouldn't believe that he's the brother of Heinrich Muller. Much darker and a big brute of a fullback, an excellent rugby player.
Steeds die lynstaande wat baie slordig is, en dis Ruben Kruger. Gaan hy die ondersteuning kry? Queen's College wat gaan afneem.
That was a vital interception there by a red guard. A couple of missed tackles on Ruben Kruger, and that could be dangerous.
Barry Cobbett wat bemeester het. Voordeel gaan aan Queen's College. McLeod langs die agterlyn af. Netjies 'n kort skoppie. Weer Smit. Weer Bricknell, hy is vinnig daarby. Ook Smit is daar. Johnny Momberg. Langs die agterlyn. Pieter Muller, pragtig deur 'n gaping. Hy's op die middellyn. Uit vir Andrei Blom en dan mis AG, daar 'n swak AG. Blom wat nie heeltemal die bal in sy hande by die bal kan kry nie, en 'n goue geleentheid vir Grey College daarmee in.
Interesting, for a moment I thought that pass might have gone backwards when he knocked it on, but the referee right on the spot, Mr. Lucky Gous, and allowing this game to flow now nicely. What Queens have got to do here is to try and keep Grey on their back foot. Get them to turn round and chase the ball towards their own goal line.
Stewige skram van Grey College. Dis Pieter Steenkamp. Ja, baie effektiewe skop in hierdie stadium. Die Broese wat onder hom probeer inkom. Grey College wil in die hande kry. Dit gaan vorentoe wees. Vryskop weer aan Grey College. Dink die strafskop wat toegeken word teen William Kempson wat moontlik indruk. En dit sal Pieter Muller wees. Van die kortskop van Jannie Momberg. Gaan hy skepskop? Nee, dis 'n swak skop. Monnie de Wet.
Well, very uncharacteristically, Grey College seem to be making mistakes and not undue pressure being applied by Queens necessarily.
Ja, van die diep inskoppe van McLeod. Weggebars deur Ruben Kruger. Hierdie kerel is geweldig sterk. Ondersteuning nie altyd daar nie. Belangrike aangee van Grey College wat verlore gaan. Kyk hoe dryf hulle vorentoe, word uitgehaal deur Queen's College. Dis Merrick Hoyer. Hy steeds binnekant sy kwartgebied en laat loop hy daar. Stone wat die bal in die hande gekry het, ongelukkig vir hom dat hy ook oor die kantlyn getrap. En meneer Gerrit Koetser se vlaggie is omhoog.
Well, a very good loose ball, a crucial one won there by Queen's College, just on their 22.
Nog nie veel skoon lynstaande gesien vandag nie. Rian May, die slag weer 'n misverstand. Maar vir Stamp spring in die lyn staan. Stamp spring in die lyn staan. Esmond van die Kerk en Stefan Ferreira wat verhoed word om te spring. En geleentheid vir Pieter Muller om die telling gelyk op te maak met 'n strafskop paal toe.
Well, Grey College unbeaten since 1985 when they were beaten by both Maritzburg College and also Queen's College, averaging 9 tries in the local schools league. And it's been a long, long time since they've been without points on the board in the 20th minute of any of their matches. But this is the opportunity for Pieter Muller to level the scores at 3-all as we approach 19.5 minutes of this match.
Hierdie seisoen het hulle 8 wedstryde gespeel, 8 gewen, 333 punte aangeteken, net 47 punte afgestaan. Maar nog nie punt op die telbord nie. Pieter Muller met die regtervoet, dis 'n beter skop van hom, maar die telling is gelyk op.
Queen's College up until now just not allowing Grey College to get any kind of fluid movement into their play.
Goeie inskop weer van McLeod. Baie netjies beheer deur van Niekerk. Janie Momberg. Van 'n goeie skopie word van hom hierdie. Spring 'n bietjie verkeerd daar vir Morney de Wet. En ongelukkig van Eksteen Enslin, die 8ste man, spat die bal vorentoe.
Not a good touch kick, and that could have been problems for Queens had Enslin notched onto that ball first time.
Merrick Hoyer McLeod nou die losskakel. Hy gaan seker maak dat hy die bal gaan uitskop. Ben so 5 meter veld.
Well, that was a blatant late tackle, Chris. And strange that the referee, Mr. Lucky Host, didn't pick that one up on McLeod.
Netjies van die kerk wat vasgemaak het. Steenkamp. Venter. André Blom wat baie swaar leef. Die agterlyn van Queen's College was onkant. Nee, 'n strafskop wat toegeken word vir opstel in die lyn staan. Skeieregter het gewag vir voordeel en Pieter Muller gaan weer geleentheid kry pale toe.
Well, that's the 10-meter line. So he's about 9 meters inside the Queen's half. And on that 15-meter dotted line, which runs parallel to the grandstand touchline, so well within his compass.
Sy derde poging pale toe met 1 geslaag, ook 2 skepskopkanse verbrou en hy verbrou ook sy tweede strafskopkans. Charl Marais, die kaptein, Ruben Kruger wat gaan wegneem. Kry die ondersteuning van Charl Marais, maar die verdediging van Queens is uitstekend.
Queen's College playing like Trojans, absolutely together under the proverbial blanket, those forwards of theirs tackling like demons.
Owen Wickers. McLeod. Gaan hom nie uitskop nie. Pragtig aan die hande van Jannie Strydom. Op skerp beweging en dan is dit Muller wat verloor. Die skeieregter wag vir voordeel. Daar gaan die voordeel wees nie aan Queen's College wat kan ingooi na vaste skram binne aan die halfgebied van Grey.
Well, it's plain that one of Grey College's main weapons, Pieter Muller, is not enjoying one of his best days.
Swak aangee. Reggemaak deur Marius Schmidt. Die slag is Pieter Muller daar, laat vir hom 2 keer spring. Kry vir André Blom. Grey College beweeg steeds vorentoe. Pieter Steenkamp. Venter. Ruben Kruger hier in die agterlyn. En dan is dit die regtervleuel Jannie Strydom. Die verdediging is daar, maar ook die ondersteuning. Heinrich Fuls wat wegneem, beskikbaar gestel. Jannie Momberg, Pieter Steenkamp na Venter. Kom halfpad deur 'n gaping. En dan sit in die hande van McLeod wat die bal terugspeel na Queen's College se kant toe. Queens wat die bal kan ingooi, maar elke keer wat Ruben Kruger aan die bal vat, dan moet Queens hulle keer ken.
Well, that was the first sight of the Grey College that we've come to know here in Bloemfontein. Their strength lies in winning the ball very quickly from second phase and running it left and bringing it back again and zigzagging all over the field.
Lucky Gous wat baie probleme het in die vaste skrums. Hoyer wat vinnig skoon maak, McLeod van binnekant sy kwartgebied. Baie hoog, gaan nie so veel veld wen nie. Maar tog seker gemaak van sy skop. Goeie wedstryd tot dusver vir hom.
Beautiful sunny day. No wind to speak of. Good drive there by Stephen Brousseau, the captain for Queens. And that's one of the few penalties that has come Queens College's way, Chris, up until now.
En feitelijk is die eerste strafskop wat toegeken word in hierdie wedstryd aan Queens College. En McLeod sal hom gebruik om sy span binnekant die halfgebied van Grey College te kry. So 5 minute wat oorbly in hierdie eerste helfte. McLeod gaan hom nie uitkry nie. Kry vir Blom wat vir hom agtertoe laat val. Hy kry vir Pieter Muller. Muller word in besit betrap. Hier kan probleme kom vir Grey College, maar alles tog daar. Janie Momberg binnekant sy kwartgebied met die linkervoet. Hy gaan hom nie uitkry nie. Monay de Wet wat effe krippelaar loop. En 'n netjiese skop wat dan eintlik nie so bedoel was deur Janie Momberg nie, maar 'n aanslaan deur Monay de Wet.
Monay de Wet caught slightly out of position by which in the end was a good kick, but it wasn't meant to go there. Scrappy line-out work.
Verstandhouding tussen Rian May en sy slotte vir Grey College is nie na wens nie. McLeod, Schmidt, kry tog die ondersteuning daar, maar Grey College se verdediging is ook daar. Kom steeds nie oor die voordeellyn nie. Swak aangee. Janie stryd hom baie vinnig daar en dan ongelukkig direk oor die kant heen geskop deur Bricknell.
Interesting, 2 good loose balls won by Queens, but I'm surprised that Queens are running from fairly deep in their own half. Obviously, they've promised to play running rugby, but there's a lot at stake, and one might have thought that they've spent so much time in their half that they might want to get it out into Grey College's half.
Pieter Steenkamp, Heinrich Fuls. Die eerste venter wat hoog geskop het. André Blom wat in besit betrap gaan word. Grey College nog nie veel veld gewen met daardie poging van hulle nie. Was 'n goeie lynstaan bal. Leon Redgaard wat daar ingetrek word. Grey College wat vir hom gaan wen. Dis Heinrich Fuls. Baie na die doellyn. Maar het was 'n hanteerfout. 'n Hanteerfout. Queens College wat kan ingooi baie na hulle doellyn. Benoude oomblikke vir hulle.
Well, if that ball had been a good pass from the outset, it could have been problems for Queens. Chris, I get the impression that the forwards of Queens College, when they got to that last loose scrum, were just a little slower than Grey. So the set pieces are really beginning to take their toll.
Stewige poging. Skeieregter sê nee, ons gaan terugkom. En die slag is dit Grey College wat die bal kan ingooi. 'n Geleentheid vir hulle. Hulle het 'n stewige skrum. Stephen Brousseau, die agste man en kaptein, lyk dit vir ons. Tog die een slot.
Leon Redgaard having a fine game for Queens.
Extien Ensland, Janie Momberg. Kry die ondersteuning daar en hy gaan oor. Janie stryd om die regtervleuel, die eerste 3 van hierdie wedstryd.
And that came in the 29th minute.
Uitstekende skram. Ensland stel vir Janie Momberg in besit. Hy trek sy man en stryd om met 'n man hier om die enkels. Pringle 'n 3. Goeie skop van Muller, ongelukkig vir hom, swaai links verby. Telling bly 7-3, eerste 3 van die wedstryd.
There's the replay again from another angle. And a good try in the end by right winger Jannie Strydom. Orthodox move, and the pressure just a wee bit too much for Queens.
Skop wat toch 10 tree gaan trek.
I don't think we've seen more than 1 or 2 clean takes in the lineouts in this first half. There's a good one by Redguard.
Goeie agterlynbeweging. Hulle kom nog nie oor die voordeellyn nie. Misverstand. Kry is baie vinnig daar. Al wat reg afgeval het, dit was nie 'n aanslaan nie. Netjies in die hande van Pringle. Liewer is tog Merrick Hoyer die skram skakel. Gaan hy die ondersteuning kry? Gray wat wil afneem, beskikbaar gestel. Krant van Heerden. Bietjie wild weggegooi, vinnig deurgeskop daar deur Heinrich Fuls. Moet teruggeval word deur Manay de Wet. Tog in die hande gekry deur Smit. Queens College wat baie ver veld verloor het. En Gray het vorentoe beweeg. Maar Queens dink ek nie het hulle kanse daar reg gebruik nie.
I'm very surprised that Queens are using these kind of tactics, because territorially it's been all Grey College, and they are just being pinned in their half and running from dangerous situations, but obviously a very positive attitude by the visitors.
Dis William Kempson, die vaskopstuk van Queens, wat 'n bietjie aandag gaan kry.
But it's been hard and tight, Chris, up until now.
Beslis, maar die voordeel tog in hierdie stadium aan Grey College. Maar die afronding wat beslis ontbreek.
Into the 33rd minute, and this is a very promising situation for Grey, and they're put in. First collapse of the match. Queens have stood up surprisingly well. Their front row of Van Heerden, Bickers and Kempson.
Pieter Steenkamp. André Blom. Kom nie verby sy man, hy kry vir Pieter Steenkamp. Grey College het steeds besit daarvan. En Lucky gou so sake baie fyn dop. En Grey College wat die bal kan aangooi na vaste skram.
There was a situation again where it was about 4-5 to 1 in that loose situation in Grey College's favour, but they just couldn't get the ball away.
Weer 'n goeie skram, Jannie Momberg, opskerp beweging. Redaskant vir Jannie Strydom. Verdediging van Queens hou.
Well, I think that Queens would dearly like a half-time whistle now. We're into the 34th minute.
Sake wil maar net nie vlot daar in die skrim nie. Al Kempson wat 'n bietjie swaar leef. By College het op hom wil val, skeieregters gaan nee sê, gaan 'n vaste skram wees en Grey wat die bal kan ingooi. So het hulle die eerste 3 gedruk in die wedstryd. Van 'n skram net so 5 meter diskant van waar hulle nou is. Weer hulle ingooi Jannie Momberg. Die slag 'n bietjie stewiger skram Ruben Kruger. Brussel wat baie prominent is, maar hy het hom met die hande uitgehaal. En hier is 'n maklike geleentheid vir Pieter Muller.
Well, that was a very, very unfortunate thing to do at this stage of the match, because this could swing the game without any shadow of doubt in Grey College's favour. Right in front on the 35th minute of the first half.
Ons het gesien, meneer Gerrit Koetser het sopas vir meneer Lucky Gous gesê, jong, jy moet 'n slag na die horlosie kyk. Pieter Muller, 10-3, dis ook rustyd. Rustyd, 10-3. 'n 3 wat gedruk is deur Janie Strydom, 2 strafdoele deur Pieter Muller. Maar ek dink tog Grey College het nie al hulle kansse gebruik in hierdie eerste helfte nie.
And Queen's College trying to run from virtually any situation inside their half.
Nou ja, ons is net na onderbreking terug by u. Die telling dan 10-3, Grey College teen Queen's College. Ons is binnekort terug by u. Terug hier in Bloemfontein. Maar nee, die voorspelers van Grey College het baie goed gespeel. En ek moet sê, Ruben Kruger was tot hierdie stadium baie prominent.
Yes, he is their main weapon. But I must say that the visitors have played extremely well in this first half. 1 or 2 unnecessary mistakes. And I've probably said this too many times, but I was very, very surprised on numerous occasions when Queens did get the ball that they decided to run from not very good positions and ran into a lot of trouble. Perhaps the boot here and there, a good tactical kick, could have had Grey turning around and chasing backwards, because this is what you've got to do with Grey College. You must have them going the other way and not towards your line. As soon as they build up this flow like Western Province, well, then you start having problems come your way.
Probleme ook vir Queens in die voorry, en ek dink is veral Kempson wat 'n bietjie sukkel teen Johan Rademan. Grant van Heerden se fiksheid miskien so 'n bietjie onder verdenking, want sy laaste wedstryd was juis op 31 Mei teen Huguenote. Hy het gesukkel met 'n besering, maar hy het vir my verseker hy's reg. En ook aan Grey College se kant was daar 'n besering. Heinrich Fuls, daar is eers gister besluit dat hy wel gaan speel vandag. Die center, hy het 'n enkel besering gehad, maar ook hy het in die kleedkamer vir my gesê, nee oom, ons is reg vir hierdie wedstryd. Tweede helfte wat gaan begin, 'n agterstand van 7 punte vir Queen's College as George McLeod die inskop waarneem. Netjies gedeflekteer, maar van die voet af spat hy uit aan Grey College se kant. Janie Momberg wat wag vir hom. Pieter Steenkamp, Grey College wil hardloop met hierdie bal. Heinrich Fuls, Pieter Muller is in die agterlyn. Vir die tweede keer wat in die agterlyn probeer kom en weer werk dit nie. Lyk na 'n belovende speler, maar dinge wat net nie wil vlot nie.
Yes, it's been a long time since I've seen Pieter Muller handled quite as badly as he has done so far in this match against Queens.
Mary Goyer. Hy het aan sy buitekant dat hy vir Murray Stone. Queens het steeds beheer aan van Grey College wat gaan afneem. Janie Momberg. Hy is baie na aan sy doellyn. Bal wat binnekant toe gaan spat. Monay de Wet, binnekant sy kwartgebied. Lyk nie vir my lekker nie. Knie. Toch op miskien 'n besering daar. Maar hy maak seker dat die bal uitkom.
Well, that was a lovely move by Queens, and they had the 2 options, either playing it out to the right where the cover defence was coming across very quickly, but then perhaps a pass that wasn't the best of passes inside and intercepted there by Grey College's Extian Enslin.
Dink is Mary Goyer wat daar lê. Hy lê op die naad van sy rug. Skramskakel van Queens.
Hoyer's had a good game so far. Plucky little player. And I must say that the halves of the Queen's College have done pretty well for themselves so far. Playing under a lot of pressure.
Hy is gereed. Sal sy plek kom inneem. Die onderkaptein van hierdie span, so ook die onderkaptein van Grens. Soos ook Janie Momberg, die skramskakel van Grey College wat die onderkaptein is van die Vrystaatse skole. Goeie ingooi, netjies gevat in die lyn staan deur Ferreira. Swak aangee van Momberg. Fuls wat onder groot druk is. Grey beweeg vorentoe, maar Queens wat wil uithaal. Prominent as Leon Redgard.
Flanker Corbett doing very good work, up very quickly with the play there and making use of an awkward situation by that bad pass by Grey.
Hoyer word geplaas deur Janie Momberg, kry tog sy word baie netjies afgeskop daar, stop daar deur Naka Drotske. Vinnige deurkom werk daar deur die flanke en Drotske, die stille harde werker van Ry. Steenkamp, Fuls, Pieter Muller en weer wat nie die bal kan raakvat nie.
Well, as long as Pieter Muller's handling the way he's handling at the moment, Gray will definitely not get going among their backs. And this is a great pity.
Hy was binnekant sy kwartgebied, hy kon hom direk uitskop en hy doen inderdaad so. Marius Schmid was gewoond in provinsiale rugby, is die nommer 11 die linkervleuel, maar vir Queen's College is dit soos in die ou dae, nommer 11 en 12 die centers.
That's the halfway line.
Ferreira, Stefan Ferreira. Die bal moet vanaf terugkom nou vir Gray. Hy word lang gehou, Janie Momberg, Steenkamp, Venter, Monay de Wet, netjies in posisie. McLeod het vir hom, hy het vir Bricknell, na die oorkant toe, Pringle. Queens wat verveld wen. Hy gaan uitkom aan Gray se kant toe, Janie Momberg word baie lastig geval.
Full marks to Queen's College for really trying to open up this game, realizing that they must run at Grey College if they want to score points.
Pieter Muller kan verligting bring, sy span 'n bietjie onder druk gewees en 'n netjies 'n skop inderdaad.
Ashman! Ashman!
Grey College wat 'n goeie bal gewen het langs die agterlyn af. Pieter Muller wat netjies oppak en dan verloor hy weer die bal. En agterlangs sukkel dit werklik vir Grey. Muller geen gelukkige wedstryd nie. Marik Hoyer, goed bedoelde skoppie van hom. Hy self daar. Baie netjies raak gevat, kry die ondersteuning van sy kaptein Steven Bruce. So dis net by die kwartgebied van Grey College en hier is 'n strafskop vir hulle. Hier is 'n strafskop vir hulle as Grey College die bal probeer terugkrap, maar uitstekende werk deur Marik Hoyer.
What a great pity that the support from Queens was just a little slow when Hoyer had that beautiful run up midfield. (10-3) at the moment, and this could make the world of difference. If McLeod succeeds, 10-6, and only 4 points in that score. Right in front, but I remember at Newlands many years ago, Western Province playing the Aussies, when Dick Lockyer missed one like that right in front. So it just shows you that even the best can make mistakes.
Karaskols het ook al sulke skoppe misgeskop. McLeod se tweede poging pale toe. Kan die verskil net 4 punte maak. Aandagtig, hy tref hom baie goed. Dit gaan nog 3 punte by wees. En hierdie wedstryd is nog lank nie gewen nie.
Penalty goal in the 8th minute by McLeod. His second, 2 out of 2, I make it Chris. And 10-6 makes for a fine 22 minutes left in this match.
Ruben Kruger elke slag aan die voorpunt vir Grey College. Dis 'n sterke duiwel. Bietjie swak aangee. Priknel. Pieter Muller feitelik op die middellyn. Kom by Sting verby. Grey College van die agterlyn af. Venter, dan word hy aangeslaan deur Charl Marais in die agterlyn. Die druk is daar van Queens, kan hom terugkry baie vinnig. Ruben Kruger wat wegneem. Pragtig raak gevat deur Janie Momberg. En hy's dwars deur.
Well, there the man is who I've always tended to think is a little big for a scrum half and deceptive in his speed, because he was up with Ruben Kruger, but Kruger the man who made the try.
So het hy daar gelyk. Uitgekom langs die agterlyn. Sien vir Venter en dan is dit Charl Marais wat die bal agtertoe laat val. Dit was nie 'n aanslaan nie. 'n Bal wat vinnig gaan uitkom. Ruben Kruger wat vir homself uitgehaal het. Kom by 4-5 manne verby en 'n skitterende raakvat daar deur Janie Momberg. En 30 meter vir hom beteken 4 punte. Hou die vlaad op, hy gaan nie daar wees nie. En dit is 14 punte teenoor 6. Opgetel deur Ruben Kruger, uitstekende werk deur hom, swak verdediging daar deur Queens College. Pringle het daar probeer. Maar kyk net vir Janie Momberg, uitstekend raak gevat. En dan die laaste 25 meter.
Yes, that was a very awkward pass coming from Ruben Kruger overhead, overhand, but very well controlled by Momberg. And what a fine scrum half he is.
Van die eerste vaskop wees van die wedstryd. Pieter Steenkamp. Fuls. Nou is hy in die agterlyn. Pieter Muller en hierdie slag werk dit. Hy het vir Ruben Kruger aan sy beide kante en dan terug na Muller en daar gaan hy. Maar dit was aan vorentoe aangee. Heeltemal terug, meneer Lucky Gous. Heeltemal terug. 'n vaste scrum.
Pieter Muller not at all happy, but the referee, Mr. Lucky Gous, right on the spot. Good decision, but this is the kind of rugby that we might see in the latter stages of this match.
Kruger wat optel. Grey College het besit gehad. Janie Momberg, Pieter Steenkamp, Heinrich Fuls. Pragtig aan die hande van Venter. Hy het net 1 of 2 manne voor ons in die hande van die loskakel Pieter Steenkamp. Hy gaan vir hom agter die paal neersit. En dit wil so al lyk of die dambal besig is om te wars.
There's the man who scored the try. Pieter Steenkamp. There it is again. Lovely copybook three-quarter line movement. Taking the tackle at the last movement. Poor tackling by Queens. Good tackle there, the pass, and good support coming from Steenkamp.
Wat gaan Muller met hierdie ene maak?
Well, he's left his kicking boots at home, Chris. The score could have been a lot bigger.
Uitstekende agterlynbeweging. Fuls. Dan Janie Strydom. Ook goed gedoen deur Fuls. En as Hoyer vir hom kom pla, baie netjies aangegee en netjies raak gevat deur Pieter Steenkamp.
Well, we've got a hold up for an injury in the 14th minute. one of the forwards. It could be, it's the number 8, Stephen Brusso, the captain of Queens, wearing a sweatband, but he's okay. Magic bottle of water has done its job. And there you see Bloemfontein's skyline. A lovely afternoon. The breeze has been very slight and kind, and the cold has stayed away.
Maar as hulle moet terugkom vir 'n vaste skram, het nie 10 meter getrek nie. En Grey College verkies 'n vaste skram. Die laaste 2 skrams wat ons hulle gesien het môre was uitstekend, en dit het vir hulle in staat gestel om 2 goeie drieë te druk.
I haven't seen very many of those this afternoon. I think that's about the 3rd. Well, just shows you whenever one makes a remark like that, then the exact opposite tends to happen. That's the halfway line.
Gaan 'n strafskop wees aan Grey College, 'n bietjie haastig deur Mary Coyer.
Well, let's hope that Grey College decide to run this one, because they 18-6 to the good, and somebody writhing on the ground there in agony.
Lyk vir my na Johan Rademan, die loskopstit. Nou nie die Johan Rademan van Radio Suid-Afrika wat op die oomblik in Wimbledon sit nie.
Yes, Kristen, we have another colleague in the side as well. Andre Blom, colleague from Cape Town, one of your colleagues down there. There's the view of the crowd, a good crowd, 4,000 or so watching this game. And we were hoping for a bigger crowd, but the weather has been very chilly, 13 to 14 today. And we have a reserve on your screen there. Coming off the field of play, we'll tell you in a moment. So we have number 19 on for you. Grey College's number 19. Well, it's not Mark McIntyre, because Grey originally had 6 reserves and Queen's College only 4, so they withdrew numbers 17 and 19, and we'll have to find out for you exactly who the replacement is. Grey running it to the left. Poor tackling by Queens.
Baie netjies reggemaak hier deur Blom. Hier kan groot moeilikheid kom vir Queen's College. Fuls wat vir hom op Liewer Venter wat vir hom netjies raak gevat het. Queens wil tog hierdie bal terugkry. Gaan 'n strafskop wees. Hier kan vir hulle groot verligting kom. Plaasvervanger op die veld is LR Botha. Grey College wat nou wil amok maak.
Lovely hand-to-hand stuff there. And I think Queen's becoming just a little weary in the leg.
Weer 'n besering, die slag aan Queen's se kant.
There are a few of the reserves on your screen in their very attractive red tracksuits, Grey College, and a hold up for an injury. Chris, so we are in agreement that it's Rademan who's off.
Okay, let's go.
Nee, maar nee, ek dink Rademan is steeds daar op die veld.
Or would it be Esmond van die Kerk?
Dis die in slot, nummer 4, Esmoen van Niekerk.
So Van Niekerk off.
En dis dan Botha, vertel hulle vir my wat op die veld is.
Well, he's not one of the official reserves, which is very interesting. Lovely drive there by Grey College, 10 metres short of the line. Five metres from the line, in that corner. This is the ideal situation for Grey for their three-quarters, lining deep.
Plaasvervanger wat ook by veld draf vir Queen's College, nommer 20, is Brad Boyd, die loskop sit.
Powerhouse rugby there from Grey. Leading by those 18 points to 6. But the match has become a little tatty.
Nou, Queen's College natuurlijk nou 'n probleem. Merrick Hoyer, hulle skramskakel is af en die man op die veld is Andrew Mantel. Kan ons 'n volle agterlyn beweging sien. Misverstand aan die agterlyn. Word steeds veld gewen, word agterna gesit deur Bricknell. Pieter Muller het kom red. Hy wag vir die bal, gaan hom nie kry nie. Queens het hom gehad. En hulle ingooi in 'n vaste skram en aanval bly maar die beste verdediging Monne.
Yes, I feel that these kind of tactics might have suited Queens a lot better. Just that odd fly hack through. You must get Grey to turn round and chase backwards. Massive scrum there by Grey.
McLeod wat vir hom tog kry, Schmidt.
Well, that was one of the few promising movements by Queens in the second half, and unfortunately Schmidt's hands just in the end left him in the lurch. So Merrick Hoyer off, which is a sad blow for Queens. Mantle in his place, chipped ahead there nicely by Grey, chased by their right wing Jannie Strydom, 22-meter line.
Netjies opgetel deur Jannie Momberg. Hulle gaan vir hom terugkry, Grey College. Baie wild weggegooi. Momberg na die agterlyn, Pieter Steenkamp. Dis Fuls. Pieter Muller in die agterlyn. Schmidt wat kom red.
.22-meter line, Queen's College territory, where it's been most of the second half.
Queens wat nou baie swaar kry in die skrams Monne. Rousseau. Refa Cobbett. Reg gemaak daar die André Blom. Hy gaan dwars deur hardloop André Blom.
Beautiful try by André Blom, jinxing his way first off the one foot, then off the other, and beating the Queen's defence. After Queen's had made a lovely run upfield out of their 22, but Grey changed it around so quickly, and this under 17 400 metres champion of last year made no mistake. There it is again, on the bounce, nice pickup by Blom, missed tackle, steps inside and then goes outside, oh, off the left, off the right, beautiful running, lovely balanced running by this winger. Which makes it 22 with the conversion to come.
Besering aan een van die manne van Queens.
So that try coming in the 24th minute. Fourth try of the match for Grey. to Andre Blom. And it's the 8th man, Stephen Brousseau, the captain, who's had a fine captain's game, leading by example, but he's okay. Let's see whether Pieter Muller has got his sights adjusted correctly at long last. The flags are up. The first goal of the match.
Kijk net hoe netjies wordt hij opgeteld door Andre Blom. En daar die aftrap van hom. En nog een. En dan daar die vernietigende laatste een. Uitstekend. Zoals een vlak as.
Beautiful running there by Naka Drotske. Down the right flank. Kruger.
En die sluit bij ons aan waar so pas nou 3 gesien het. Terwyl ons nog die stadige aksie vir die wys. 'n uitstekende 3.
Well, the floodgates have really opened now, and I'm afraid that unless Queens tackle like demons in these last 5 minutes, the score is going to mount extremely quickly.
Pas 24-6. Nou aangeskuif na 28-6. 'n moeilike skop wat wag op Pieter Muller.
That's the open stand touchline. And it's just not Pieter Muller's day. 28 points to 6.
McLeod. Kobert dat nie mooi kan beheer nie. Momberg. En hy is deur 'n gaping. En wild weggegooi. Dis krag.
Magnificent scrum by Grey College. Good work around the open stand side. The open side. Ruben Kruger tackled from behind. Picked up by Stephen Brousseau. Ruck is on. And Grey College penalised for going over the top. Slowly and surely, the momentum that one's used to when watching Grey College is beginning to build up. And this is what is so essential in their pattern of play.
Kan vir 'n groot verligting bring. Gaan hom nie uitskop nie. Pieter Muller uitstekend raak gevang. Dwars deur. Sake lyk nou sleg vir Queens.
Well, it's bone-crunching stuff up front. I don't know whether you could hear over our effects, Mike. Grey College forwards really climbing in now. Concerted effort in these closing stages. 28 minutes gone. Lovely run ball there by Grey.
Kan ons 'n goeie agterlynbeweging sien. Bietjie 'n misverstand. Reggemaak deur Venter. Pieter Muller is ook daar.
That's the 22-meter line and another injury. So the second half been marked by injuries, unfortunately, to both sides. And I think the most important one to little Merrick Hoyer, the vice-captain of Queen's College, which has made all the difference, and he had such a fine first half. Obviously a crucial player. And Andrew Mantell coming on in his place.
Ja, die man wat in der waarheid af is vir Queen's College is Stuart Pringle, die linkervleuel, en Merrick Hoyer wat nou vleuel speel, en Mantell wat scrum-skakel speel.
Quite right, Chris. Sorry, I didn't pick him up on the left wing there. Mantell also a scrum half.
Ja, die Momberg kry vir Fuls. Die ondersteuning is daar van Enslin. En hulle gaan daar oor, maar daar was reeds 'n hanteerfout.
Yes, sorry for the mums and dads and friends of Hoyer, perhaps. Lovely shot with Gray right underneath the goalpost of Queen's College. 28-6 the score. Shall over try.
Hy word toegeken.
Well, your guess is as good as mine, Chris. Well, we'll have to wait until he gets up. There he is. Drotske, that's my guess. And normally they don't oblige by turning around to show us their number. There it is. Ball almost going through the scrum.
Zes punten waaraan bykom.
And only Muller's second conversion. Chris, I see you hesitating. I'm hesitating.
Ja, ek wonder of ons die drie tog moet ken aan X teen Enslin nie. Die 8ste man. En ons oor Oula's 'n goeie agterlyn beweging kom. Steenkamp, Fuls, Muller in die agterlyn. Hulle hou vir hom baie goed dop. Fuls is weer daar. Grey College is steeds besit van hom, Momberg. Dis Pieter Muller. Hou die bal mooi bok aan sy kop.
Andre Blom with a lovely stuff. And running down the right wing, Yanni straight on. In the 32nd minute exactly. What a lovely three-quarter line movement by Grey College. Copybook rugby. That's the kind of video that you want to buy and show your school children. That's the way to play the game. What a lovely run by Straydom, putting his ears back, going for the corner.
Tal wat op die telbord kan verskyn as Pieter Muller hierdie skop tussen die pale kan deurjaag. Grey College, die eerste houer van die Volkskas Shield, gaan 38-6 wees. Dis die einde van die wedstryd. 'n Skitterende oorwinning van Grey College. Die dambal wat eers gebars het in die tweede helfte. Rustyd was nog 10-3 en toe is dit net in die tweede helfte 'n strafdoel wat bykom vir Queen's College, maar ons het 6 skitterende drieë gesien in die tweede helfte deur Grey College. Ruben Kruger, Jannie Momberg het uitstekend gespeel en Jannie stryd om die regtervleuel. As hy in die bal gevat het, dan moes Queen's College hulle keer geken het. 38-6. Dit is dan Grey College wat daarin slaag om die eerste houers van die Volkskas Shield te word.